Welcome back to GTA 6 Source, where we are taking our time to zoom in super close into Grand Theft Auto 6's second trailer. So far in this trailer, we have seen so many different scenes. We've seen beautiful Leonida Keys landscapes, we've met so many characters, we've met Jason Duval, we've met Lucia Caminos, we've picked Lucia up from jail, we've robbed banks, we have loaded drugs onto planes, we have had shots with our friends, we've enjoyed ourselves. There's been so many incredible scenes, so many fun moments in this trailer, and it's been, I think, a really great time to actually zoom in and enjoy the little details, the artistry, the specificity that comes into these sorts of things, and enjoying it one little scene at a time. This next video we're going to talk about here is actually 3 different scenes. We're just going to clump them together because they're so fast, they're so quick, they all don't necessarily need their own video. But we're going to appreciate them all nonetheless. This first scene, we're on a boat, we're with Jason and Lucia is showing off her new dress. This is a beautiful dress that we do see throughout the trailer as we continue forward. And one of the things that we just want to note on it, and we'll note it later when some lighting is a little more exciting, is that it is a sequin dress. So we're seeing a lot of different reflections. We're seeing a lot of different details in the reflections, and that's a really impressive piece of technology that we're seeing with the ray tracing and everything else. Every single sequin on her dress is an incredibly good reflection. It's really impressive to see stuff like that. So we're seeing her on a boat here. To the right, we see a cooler full of beers. We have Patriot beer in there. It's these little details that are very impressive to enjoy, to sort of see that every single corner of the map, every single corner of a scene is well adorned with a lot of very interesting things. As she walks forward here, she walks to show Jason her new dress. It looks like there's a party going on behind her. Looks like this is some sort of party boat. They're enjoying themselves. There's even some confetti on the ground, so something exciting has happened. If you look right past her, there's so many, again, these little microscopic details you might not notice, but that beer on the coffee table right in front of Jason appears to be, again, it's a little blurry, but we can kind of see what it is. It looks like it's a Lavazas, which is a beer that actually we saw. It's introduced in GTA 6. It looks like it's one that was introduced in the first trailer, and we can talk about that when we get to that in the first trailer. But actually, Lavazas translates to something along the lines of dirty water or dishwater. So that might give you some indication. Almost every beer name and other brand name that is in Grand Theft Auto, in Rockstar, is basically a joke. And so that's just delightful. We love to see that kind of thing. Looking up at Jason's face of surprise, I think he really represents our faces throughout this trailer. Just all this beautiful stuff that we're seeing, all this tech that we're seeing, all of this incredible things that Rockstar is showing us. Jason has our face. So a nice shocked face from Jason. It's very silly. It's very fun. Obviously, he's looking at Lucia, and Lucia looks very, very beautiful. And when it moved to the next shot, we can see exactly why. Lucia, absolutely gorgeous in that dress. And then we can see more. It seems to be a sunset, beautiful scene. We can see more of the party. We can see there's sort of a bar, maybe a bartender in the back there. So this seems to be a pretty hoppin' place. Drinks on the bar. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of people around, a lot of people enjoying it. It makes us wonder, is this something that is part of a mission? Is this just something that's available in the world all the time? Just there's party barges and there's some exciting things going on. That's kind of fun. If you can just say, hey, there's always a boat having a party, you can go have a drink the way that there are bars around. That would be a lot of fun. But this looks like it could possibly be part of a scene. It looks like Jason didn't know that Lucia would be wearing a dress like that. She's, gussied up. He looks very surprised at how beautiful she looks. We assume that they're in a romantic relationship from the very beginning. They don't develop one, and so obviously seeing her like this, which is most likely after she gets out of jail, he hasn't seen her like this in a long time, and to see her beautiful like this is just something that he's very excited to see. And then of course we have to mention it. We have to point out, I think, the number one thing in this scene is the hair flip. It is absolutely incredible the way that Lucia flips her hair around, and you can almost see every single strand on her head. That kind of stuff is so what's really okay. Let's take a second. Let's back up a little bit about video game development and design, because when it looks this easy, when it looks this natural, this simple, this clear, when there's no problems, that's when it's the hardest. That's when it's the most complicated. That's when it's the most impressive. Video game developers for decades have struggled with clothing on bodies, hair on heads, beards, growing everything. This is stuff that has taken literally decades to perfect and to get right, and Rockstar is no different. They have not always been able to do this. For a long, long time, you know, even in GTA 5, a lot of people had very static, very rigid hair. A lot of women wore their hair up. A lot of people had short haircuts because making your hair move was such a demand on the resources that it was just not worth it because it was so difficult. To have clothing that rested on top of a character's body as opposed to being the character's body, or jewelry that rests on top of a character as opposed to being a part of the character, is so impressive because it looks easy. If you've ever seen any professional athlete and you go, I could do that, yeah, that's why they're the professionals. They make it look easy. That's why Rockstar is the best. They make it look natural. They make it look easy. And when they show off like this, you can only applaud. You can only say, well done. That's just really impressive. And they're clearly showing off. They're clearly showing, hey, look at our hair physics. It's better than yours. This is stuff because we know, we've said it 1,000 times, this is in-game. This is a cutscene, which is rendered in-game, or it's an in-game moment, a gameplay moment. Most likely a cutscene, but still, Rockstar doesn't switch out character models. This is live. This is real. So it's really impressive, and Rockstar's just showing it off. They're like, yeah, here's Lucia doing a little hair flip for you. It's so easy and natural and quick. It's unbelievable. So I feel like that's this whole video. The whole video should just be the hair flip. But I think that's what the whole point of these videos are. It's just to really appreciate and acknowledge the technological advancements that we have in video games right now, but most importantly, what they are just showing off. So it's really exciting to see stuff like that. So here we have Jason and Lucia marveling at video game technology. That's what they're doing. So here in this next scene, we have Jason and Lucia sitting in a car planning something because Jason says, look, if we're going to do this, we're doing it right. So they're obviously planning something, they're figuring something out, they're deciding what to do. Again, not much going on in this scene other than what Jason says, but, you know, beautiful lighting coming in through the back window. We have Lucia's earring, you know, dangling very naturally. We've talked about natural looking jewelry and clothing before. This is just more examples of that. In the background behind Jason, we do see some motorcycles. It appears to be some motorcycle gang we've seen from other screenshots that we will talk about later, that there is a motorcycle gang in Ambrosia, which is one of the locations in Leonida. It's called the Final Chapter MC, so it's very plausible that that's them. So maybe this is some sort of mission with the Final Chapter. Maybe this is a mission to infiltrate the Final Chapter MC. I don't know. There's a lot of different possibilities for that kind of stuff, but it's very clear that they're planning something. They're getting ready to do something. Obviously, you know, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. So it matters what they're talking about. Maybe there's some mission planning, maybe similar to GTA 5, that there's some moments where you can kind of decide what you want to do with your missions, what you want to do with a heist, if that's the case. And so that could plausibly be something that Jason's talking about. It's also just a really interesting scene because, you know, it's clear that they have conversations about what they're about to do. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of story, there's a lot of development about that kind of stuff. So it's very clearly that they're planners, they think about this kind of stuff, they make sure that everything's right, and it's fun to see a little scene like that. Moving forward, again, this is a very, as I said, this video is just full of 3 really, really quick clips, and so it's worth it to talk about them all together. And here's just a very simple shot of their backs as they hold each other's hands. And that's about it. We have no idea what the context for this scene is, and so we have nothing to really infer from it. It's just them being together, holding hands, and getting ready to do something. Again, this is some sort of cutscene that we'll see later on in the game. We can infer something from it. I guess you could say that this is them getting ready to do something, or maybe they've just done something. Yeah, it's about that vague. There's not a whole lot we can talk about, but, you know, I do want to point out one thing. If we really can put our tinfoil hats on for a second, one of the things that I've noticed, and what we've done is we looked through other trailers and other screenshots that Rockstar has released for other games, is that Rockstar actually kind of teases really important moments, really big moments in their trailers, but without the context, you have no idea what anything is talking about. So it's very plausible that any scene in this trailer could be a pivotal scene that has enormous consequences for the game and for the story. So who knows? This could be the very end of the game. This could be them after, you know, killing the final enemy and saying, we did it, we were able to live free. Or who knows? This could be them before they run off into the gunfire. This could be them doing Butch and Sundance. This could be John Marston walking out of the barn. Who knows? There's no way to know until we actually play the game. So it's just worth it to just say, I don't know, we can guess and think what it could possibly be. The only other note that I want to make is that Jason's shirt looks like an amazing shirt, and I think I want to buy one. So that's about all we have. So as I said, these were 3 really, really quick clips. There wasn't that much to talk about, and yet we stretched the time anyway. You knew we could do it. So that's really all we have. If there's anything else that I didn't notice that you did, comment down below. Tell me what I missed. Tell me what I got wrong. Like, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Thanks for watching this quick little video of quick little clips. See you next time.